Okay, 6:05. Let's call the order of the public hearing and regular commission meeting. Let's start with the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mayor. Commissioner Wilkinson,
Here.
Commissioner Burge,
Here.
Commissioner Prunick,
Here.
Mayor Barry,
Here.
Commissioner Justardens is absent.
All right. Item B, public comments. Hearing none. Okay. Hearing none. Item C, the QPAD presentation with Brian Susi. Great, Susi, I'm sorry.
It'll take me a minute to get booted up. Sleep on us. It's working. Take a minute to screen on.
Come in here. Like the rest of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for having me, commissioners. And as you know, we recently completed Munising's housing needs assessment. We presented on that at the last commission meeting. Jessica did a real nice job presenting out the fact on that. And today's presentation is about where we go from here, how we take the data and insights from the housing needs assessment and use them to shape our upcoming master plan update. This plan will become the foundation for land use policies, zoning, and future decision making. I'll walk through how we're translating those housing needs into clear policies, directions, and actions. So you've already seen the findings of the housing needs assessment, so we won't go back through all that today, but what I want to focus on is how we move from the assessment to implementation. The H&A gives us a detailed look at what's driving Munising's housing challenges, from affordability and aging homes to workforce pressures and zoning constraints. Now the goal is to align our master plan with those realities so we can support housing that meets the needs of residents. To quickly ground us, here's the high-level picture. Over half of Munising's homes were built before 1960, and we haven't seen new housing construction since 2019. At the same time, prices have climbed over 30% in the last 5 years, and nearly a quarter of residents are cost burden. Cost burden means paying over 30% of your income in housing per month. We're also seeing more people living alone, especially seniors, and fewer families with kids. The data paints a clear picture. Munising's housing supply doesn't match the current or future needs. This is where the master plan comes in. It's Munising's long-term roadmap, not just a vision, but it provides the policy foundation that informs zoning, infrastructure, and development decisions. When we get housing policy right in the master plan, we create conditions that allow for the right kind of development. Whether that's infill, rehab, or new types of housing that haven't historically been permitted. The housing needs assessment clearly points to several areas for policy focus. We need to enable more housing types, especially missing middle options like duplexes or small scale multifamily. That would be triplexes or fourplexes. or townhomes. We need zoning flexibility for accessory units and smaller lots. We also need to prioritize housing rehab, support aging in place, and explore tools like affordable housing incentives or trust funds. These aren't just ideas, they're practical responses to local needs we've documented. Right now, our zoning rules make it difficult to reinvest in existing neighborhoods, even when the housing fits the context. Things like lot size minimums, setback requirements, or unclear rules for duplexes and ADUs can block small, sensible projects. By allowing more flexibility for reuse and infill, we can support gentle density and help aging neighborhoods stay livable and functional. And here's what the timeline looks like. This summer and fall, we're working on the land use and housing chapters and drafting policies. Over the winter, we'll develop the full draft of the master plan. Your input will be key in shaping priorities, reviewing the draft. We're aiming for adoption in early 2026. At the same time, we'll be flagging where zoning amendments will be needed, so implementation can begin soon after plan is adopted. And as we move forward, we're looking for your guidance. Are there any particular strategies or goals that you feel are most urgent? Are there barriers you'd like to address in zoning or land use? And what kinds of housing would you like to see prioritized? This is the Commission's opportunity to shape the plan that reflects both community need and practical policy direction. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Is that an active? What's that? Is that a call to action for us to start responding?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes there's a slide that will also prompt it, so I didn't want to just jump right in.
Let me grab my notepad.
And I have thoughts, but I don't have to go first.
You
So.
can.
Brennan.
All right, I would like to have a heavy review of our parking ordinance in regards to its impact on housing. Multifamily dwellings do not have the ability to have the same type of parking spaces that single-family dwellings do in our parking ordinance right now. It makes townhomes darn near impossible, and I know that the last couple of times the planning commission has pushed to make it easier to put multifamily dwellings in certain zones. It didn't matter because not a single parcel opened up because our parking ordinance still prevented it. So that heavy duty aspect of the parking ordinance is going to be just as big of an issue as setbacks are, in my opinion. And then I guess the other aspect is when looking at these kind of things, you know, like when you're doing the calculations and everything, again, how much flexibility do we have for certain economic factors when you guys are making these decisions? Are most of the recommendations that you're pushing based on housing stock regardless of price, or is it based on fluctuating aspects of, you know, local and federal economics?
To be honest, it's a little bit of both.
Okay, so just to jump in on that a little bit further is housing values are now above the 2008 housing crisis. We got hit with the triple threat of property values are getting consistently rated higher because it's possible that there could be a short-term rental, which means that there's increased value for taxation models. They're getting hit with that, the inflation, post-COVID, and Fed's jacking around the interest rates on properties that have just absolutely crushed this market. So it's going to be very difficult to try to figure out what building and how building happens. And so I'm trying to figure out where in these policies would we address the economic issues to make sure that it's equitable. Because one of the reasons too that we can't get, you know, why there's no housing that's been built lately is nobody can afford it. Or they're themselves or they're renovating to turn them into something else like a parking lot or a short-term rental. So, how to incentivize people to build long-term housing, even if it's just a new home for somebody to live in, it's gotta be a thought process. But I don't know how that fits in with how you guys approach it.
I have some thoughts, I don't know how to quite formulate it right at the moment, because there's no, there's cart, horse, cart. I think definitely changing some zoning. Case in point, the Munising marijuana business over here, I was talking to them, and they almost had a buyer on the line to turn that into studio apartments, mixed use, studio apartments, and then a retail operation in the front where it used to be. But I think there's still some challenges with zoning and whatnot, so maybe if there's a way to.
We changed that zoning, so they were, as long as at the time, they had a buyer there, and the buyers came to us at the planning commission and said, look, this is what we wanna do. And there's certain rules and regulations to go with that. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if the deal fell through or what.
It did, but I guess, I'm using that as an example with, and I guess I think we are kind of getting to be more flexible with zoning changes. But I definitely, personally, will spend a little more time on it and, just, not formulating at the moment. Anybody else?
Well, we talked at the planning commission, and you gave us a great report on things that we can do. And at our next planning commission, we're gonna go over each and every one of those. Lot size, what type of building can be built on a certain lot. I mean, we're looking at 33 feet now, and new construction doesn't surprise me because I don't know where you'd build a new construction house. So that has its own problems there. I'd like to see if somehow the city or if we can pair with the county or something, or the state, to get some kind of a program that some of these older houses can be rehabilitated, so to say, so they may be able to have housing in apartments or whatever.
Right.
So, and especially if people want to come in and buy a house, we got a moratorium on short-term rentals right now. So we're not going to have any. And we're kind of, as they fall by the wayside, we're going to eliminate some of those. But yeah, there's something, there's got to be something we can do with some kind of rehab, and I don't know what it is yet. I know the city can't participate in it.
Right, and actually, that's kind of, I apologize, I don't mean to interrupt, but that's kind of what the owners of the building over here too were saying.
Right.
Is there incentives for rehab?
I don't know legally we can do that as a city. I don't think we can. I wish Bill were here because I think
I don't think we can either. We can implement programs and be the administrator of programs.
Right.
But,
That's
We
what I
can do
said.
TIFs though, right?
we can do a TIF.
Yeah.
And, but you can't, usually you can't grant, you gotta kind of work around, it's a workaround when you do TIF. You can't grant it directly to a homeowner or somebody that is, usually grant them to a business entity. And now if a developer comes in, possibly we could grant it to that, but you can't, just somebody that's rehabbing.
Because Muskegon did a ton of houses with TIFs, and it was actually, I think it was actually the Renovare people that showcased what it was. So I don't know if it was through the Renovare as a developer.
Right,
Okay.
that probably was.
Yeah, I think I know that
In fact, I want to get a hold of Sorry for that.
the state has programs, and as you said, we could facilitate some of that, but we can't use tax money directly for that.
Here.
So where I see TIF fail in communities is because they don't communicate it to the public and educate the public about what TIF is. How it's, it's capturing the taxes as the
The increment
values
goes up.
grow from the property. So it's not that they're giving away the tax money from the residents to the developer, it's capturing.
We just, actually with the cruises,
Right.
did it, a brown tip with the Brownfield. It was for me, it was very interesting. It had a lot of moving parts. But even, I had to have a discussion with my husband, because he was of that mindset. It's like, no, it's not your money. They're not
Right.
Well,
recapturing.
and we technically didn't, as the city, it was the DDA. The DDA did it
Right.
because of this.
And the county. It
Yeah.
was, yep.
Well, yeah, the Brownfield goes that way, but, so, are we done with that before I ask another question?
Yep, then we can
Okay.
start wrapping it.
In terms of advocacy aspects, like, I mean, if we wanted to make a resolution or something that said that we wanted to maybe find something from a larger scale perspective, like, I don't know, the one that pops up a lot with trying to find enough builders to make all this stuff happen is to advocate for certain laws to be changed at a state level, to make it easier for that kind of stuff. And that's just an example. There's lots of different things. But is there a guideline process or a review process for looking into advocacy aspects of some of those things?
Like,
Munising is just a very unique area, and it's us, Mackinac, and usually Grand Traverse counties that, you know, we are three very do not fit in the standard boxes of what a lot of state government groups do. So like, how do we get louder to say, hey, we are different and we could use this twinge or this twist to make it work out, you know?
well, I think, you know, advocating through the larger channels is still the best bet. Going through Michigan Municipal League, going through CEDM. If you're not members of CEDM, I would highly recommend it. They provide a lot of great training. It's CEDAM, and that's the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan. They provide a lot of advocacy and a lot of personal support on a range of housing topics and community development topics. So I think those are the best ones that you can angle it from,
Okay.
especially as a tourism-based community.
I wonder if Kathy is tapped into these guys, that's who
Yeah.
should.
I wonder if we couldn't couldn't invite our state representative to come in and hear our concerns a little bit and see what he has to say. I don't know, it's
Yeah,
just
I
a
mean-
thought, I don't know.
So,
I mean, give us an idea of where to start, maybe, or he could,
Yeah.
or she.
Well, it's Carl Bonak now, but Sarah Benzi, who used to be, it works in his office. We were actually supposed to
Right.
talk last week, and then
Right.
it was about something else, and so didn't want to double step there.
oh, no, but I think this is something that we should definitely, think about and use some more, suggestions. Because I know, I do have some more, I just, it's weird, it's a paradox, you know, it's what do you do first? And so, but this, you did a great job, thank you.
Thank you. And one more thing, CEDM is having a rural real estate development boot camp in September. It's the week of, I think, September 15th, and it's going to be in Marquette. It's really pricey to join this. I think it's $1,400 for one person to attend. But I think CEDM membership is included in that. And QPAD recently got a grant from MSHA to allow subsidized registrations, no cost. I think I have room for one more, so if someone from the city would like to go for the week, I think we also have funding for lodging and travel. So please get a hold of me if you can think of anybody who wants to go.
Great, thank you. Okay, anything else?
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you so
Ryan.
much.
Appreciate you coming.
Thanks.
All right, moving on, item D, consent agenda. Anybody have any questions or concerns? If not, I'm going to take a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Birch, seconded by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve the consent agenda. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. New business, UPEA invoice for the Ann River Bridge project, $5,560. And this?
This is just for the month of June.
Yeah, basically, it's just our ongoing invoicing.
I make a motion, we pay the UPEA invoice for $5,560.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Clement to pay UPEA invoice in the amount of $5,560. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. HydroCorp renewal service agreement. We kind of were looking this over the other day. It's basically, we have to renew it every year, and it's up for renewal.
This is a 5 year.
5 years, right.
Right, it's a 5-year
We have
renewal.
to
The
renew it.
original one was 3.
So this one is, yep, for 5 years. What year are we in? Three? Four?
Yeah, I mean, it's due now.
Yep.
Will this be the second service agreement with them?
Yes.
Do
We
have-
also have residential with them too,
Okay,
so, and the initial residential was really expensive because of all the initial inspections. And now that most of them have not been gone through and there's not much for hazards, they do a lot less inspections, so it's a fraction of the cost it was.
this is paid yearly, correct? It's not one lump sum for 5 years?
No.
No, it's
It's-
an annual.
It's broken down
Right.
in there.
Yeah, I see it, I just.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, $800 per monthly would be great. Yeah, it's a monthly amount.
Yep.
Okay.
So are the caps lock part of it new stuff, or is that just exceptions?
Say that again.
So in multiple places in the contract, the actual meat and potatoes of the contract, there's all capitalized phrases. Are those new? Is that how new things are designated?
No. Well, there's nothing new, I mean, it's the same,
It's word for word the same contract?
yeah.
Did Bill get a chance to look at this?
It's the same one that we've had every year.
No. Okay, so I didn't send it to him.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept the renewal service agreement with HydroCorp for the 5-year plan of $48,803.44.
You might want to pay someone to sign it.
I'm sorry?
Oh, someone has to sign it. We need an authorized signer.
Is that wrong?
I would say, if you don't mind,
Yeah, that's fine.
authorized, right? Okay.
Sign it, yeah.
I'll support
Okay.
that to add
It's
Robert
been-
to as well.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the annual renewal service agreement with HydroCorp and to authorize Ron Clayman to be the signer of the agreement. Any more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Coleman Engineering Company TMF grant.
That's four.
Oh,
And
oh, I
Yeah.
skipped
Yeah.
it. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No,
Ad hoc committee to review ordinances. Actually, we talked about this the other day, and it's in the best interest of the city not to have an ad hoc. And I was short-sighted when you and I were talking about this, mainly because we're not really equipped with the skill set, and there's a lot of bias. So, and Ray, you can please jump in anytime. Ray had suggested that use a third-party provider at some point to review all our ordinances. And then they come back unbiased, and they're experienced in this.
I did have a conversation with Bill, and I think he wants to take an initial crack at this to go through it.
Good.
And then I did mention about what we talked about was codifying the ordinances. You're in a lot better shape than some communities that went forward, but just organizes it a little different matter, but it's not cheap, so I mean, you have to really look at it. So maybe having Bill start the process, especially if you have specific ordinances that you want reviewed, and then we can follow a timeline, you know, on when you want the kind of the feedback.
And maybe that can be a committee of some sort, just to determine what the priorities are,
Yeah.
the ordinances.
All right, so I'm just gonna think out loud here. So, working with other municipalities, whenever we've had to go through municipal or ordinance review, we always started off with just a quick review from the attorney to see what maybe, you know, what does the attorney think or know of any recent cases that might question some of this stuff. I just asked that one time, and then everything kind of spiraled out of control the top 12 way. You guys know how much I hate that ordinance and think that it's improper. But that's a cough. I'm just gonna. I don't usually get to be the one that keeps the peace, so I just want to. But you know, I would like to have at least a process, some kind of process in play, because the idea was to go ad hoc, and then I never heard about it again in terms of discussing it. And so as 12 continued to go in its due process, and I try to just follow along, and then we didn't have the discussions, and I think that we have a real risk in terms of some of the stuff, in terms of the contracts that we have, that a definition might be screwed up. I think one of the more casual ones to bring up again is the definition of a school, which is in 12, and we have now a contract with grant money attached to it to have a school resource officer. Well, the school enters into a contract with the MHSAA and other organizations to host athletic events, and then all of a sudden they're hosting the UP State Finals at the golf course, and we don't have a school resource officer that's in that jurisdiction because that's in the township. Small things like that can also be impacted by the way that we have our ordinances, and so I would like to at least have, a committee that can establish concerns, I guess, before going forwards, because I don't know how we tell a third-party group what concerns we have unless we actually sit down and talk about it first, or look what kind of contracts are in play that might have terminology that is either outdated or conflicts, and I just want to have that conversation. That's the key part of what I want with this, is I want to have conversation to talk about, are our ordinances in a way where they're clear to the average resident and actually enforceable for what we are intending them to do, and not with some kind of unintended consequence or something that changes that might put us at a bad spot.
Yeah, a third party wouldn't be able to localize it. I mean, what they're doing is they're looking for those inconsistencies or something that's out of compliance, because they're all lawyers going through it. So they might find something in a code that would say, maybe pick up what you're talking about, that it's out of compliance, but they're not gonna localize it. So that would have to be a local committee that would, have that information. I mean, our local attorney is the best one, probably to spearhead that kind of an effort.
He would be able to tell us, Bill would be able to tell us what is legal, what's not in there, what should be in there. I mean, and then from there, I think we can kind of pick it, if he finds some, like you're saying, and, the service officer, if he finds that it's inconsistent with what is happening now, I think that's, the first one we look at. Because you're not gonna start turning the pages for, each ordinance at this point. You're gonna try to pick and choose the ones that aren't up to snuff.
Well, and that's what's rough about this, is that I kind of just did, just as an introductory thing, I read all the ordinances along with the city charter when I got elected, and there were multiple things where they were small, they weren't necessarily the end of the world, but then all of a sudden you attach grant money to it, or it's dealing with an MDOT bond or something like that. Now we're dealing with, potentials of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, on the line, where we could have a backdoor issue and then have it blow up in our face, and some of the smaller ones, school resource officer, where you're storing clean wood compared to just regular
Right.
wood for
Right.
burning purposes, you know, so it's like, I mean, those things I think can be handled pretty easily in-house. It's just a matter of like how in-depth it goes. And then the other factor is too, is that Bill's fairly new. He doesn't have the institutionalized knowledge, and we kind of lost the institutionalized knowledge with Devin going. So, you know, this is gonna be done kind of in a way where, you know, what is local kind of pops up is the big question.
Well, I think, and I'm not putting this off, it's gonna sound like I am, but I think once we get the new city manager in here to revisit this and see what background they have, and then move forward with it. But in the meantime, if you wanna continue discussions, but I don't see us being able to move forward until we get somebody in here to be able to facilitate it.
I respect that with one caveat, just because there was one other thing that popped up. And that would be the gentleman that came in about the ORV ordinance, specifically asking for that. Some of these things are ordinances based on administrative ordinances, and some of them are based on other ordinances that we have, like zoning and parking and stuff like that. If we were to kind of move forward with this, do we have a scope and scale of how far we want to go, or is that also something that we should wait until?
I think we should wait until we get somebody in here that is more in the weeds, that does the day-to-day operation stuff, that, you know, is more familiar with these, that we can work with.
I wouldn't have a problem with having 2 or 3, you know, the city manager and, you know, someone from the city commission and someone from the planning commission, to sit down and start looking at some of this local stuff. Not changing anything, because we wouldn't have that authority to do
Right.
it, but to look at it and go, okay, yeah, maybe we could tweak this a little bit, get with Bill, is this right, or is this wrong, or whatever. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. I think that's a pretty good idea, and then go forward with, you know, with what we can do with the,
No, I agree.
Well, that could be a good starting point, because
yeah.
then you're giving a roadmap for Bill to look at.
Mhm.
You know, the planning commission's a good place.
Yeah,
That's how we did the water sewer ordinance. Devin, myself, and Rob sat in there
right,
multiple times. We went through it line by line.
yeah.
This is no longer relevant, or this needs to be added, and so we did that.
So based on that, that's different than waiting. I mean, we would still have
Well,
to instruct somebody or something like that to do research. And I honestly think that's the right call. I think starting to do research right now would be, you know, while we're waiting, you know, to take action, we gotta be informed.
So are you engaging Ray and then somebody from planning commission?
If that's what we wanna do, but that's different than what you had suggested, which is wait until.
Well, I just didn't want to put more on your plate while you're the interim, but if that's what the commission wants to do, and that's a consensus,
I can work through that.
I'm okay with that.
I think the key is to keep it moving forward and to have an established guidelines. It's actionless, however you want to put it. And you get to the point when you do engage the attorney, that he has that guideline. Because he'll then take and go into the weeds.
That's the start.
So I don't know, do we take action and form a committee and
I don't know.
have somebody, we don't have the attorney.
You're the mayor.
Well, I mean,
No.
I to appoint, I mean, we definitely can appoint a commissioner and the city manager. Excuse me, but to just appoint a planning commission member, which would make sense.
You can do that.
But then you would take it back to the planning commission, or would you be on
I
it?
can volunteer to be on it.
All right,
Yeah.
then let's do that, if that's the route you guys wanna take. Then,
Yeah, and ad hoc for research purposes only.
yep.
Right.
And I wasn't trying, like I said, I wasn't trying to put it off, I just was not knowing how much of a scope and, you know. I'm
Well, I think the good thing with what we have in Gray here is, he's, you know, he's not new.
Mhm.
You know, he's been around the block once or twice on a lot of this stuff, so he can, you know, give us quite a bit of good insight, I think.
I probably, you know, I'm not gonna be the one localizing anything, I'm probably gonna be facilitating, making sure that I can
Right.
take the notes, I can make sure that we stay on task or have a timeline, you know. those
So I'm sure you've run into a few things where,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
I mean, the diversity of situations is also a big one too,
Mhm.
because like if you get stuck in one municipality over time, like yes, you have that institutionalized knowledge about just you guys, but you don't necessarily hear about all the problems that happen elsewhere. Because like that was the benefit of going to all the meetings, was that I heard
Mhm.
all of the other municipalities having problems with various ordinances, and so, it's a benefit. I'm excited about benefits, I'm excited about discussion. I think this is something that's just kind of underlying and causes more problems or has a big risk than what we realize sometimes. So I'd like to be proactive instead of reactive.
Agreed. Would someone like to make that motion?
I
Trying to
make
figure out
motion,
how to
we,
phrase it.
yeah,
For review only.
Make motion to form an ad hoc committee to review the ordinances research only,
Mhm.
And a point.
And appoint
Yeah,
people
appoint.
in it.
and appoint them, yeah.
So it would be, well, before going that far, do we want to talk about who's going to be on it? I mean, I would like to, but I'm not going to be that bold to say that.
I assume you would.
Yeah. that's-
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't want somebody
You're
else to say
fine.
that they wanted it. And then the other aspect is with the planning commission, do you want to be on there as a planning commission member? Do you want to have a second city commissioner on there and then at the planning commission level elect somebody at your next meeting? Like, how do you want the mechanics of that to go?
Yeah, I don't see anybody that, you know, other than Bill maybe. But I think, you know, I think we should form a committee, pick who we want on the committee, and we can always change.
I was gonna say, you can amend
So
it.
we can always,
Right.
at our planning commission, I can bring that up, and if Bill wants to be in it, I can excuse myself.
See if anyone else wants it or anyone.
Yeah, it's all good. Again, just mechanics of
Yeah.
trying to form the motion, so.
And I think that if you guys are okay with it, I think
Yeah.
Ray, Bryce, and,
Can I recommend a verbiage for the motion?
yes, you can.
Motion to appoint person A, B, C, to a committee to review, and then however you want to review the language for the review, the ordinances, and
So I'll make a motion, we form an ad hoc committee with myself, Bryce, and the city manager. That way that we don't have that problem. For research ordinances purposes at this point. I think that covers it.
That's support that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary,
You just say for ordinance. isn't it?
you've got it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
think he included it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We just love the research.
And,
Yes, I just kept waiting for it.
okay, it's,
I'll support hers, Bryce, yeah.
you supported it.
I think I beat him technically, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right. Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Burge, to form an ad hoc committee to include Commissioner Wilkinson representing the Planning Commission, Commissioner Burge representing the City Commission, and the City Manager, Ray Anderson, to review the ordinances for research purposes only. Any more discussion?
I think technically, he purposely left Ray's name out of there, so that way the city manager.
just
city
Just
manager.
translate
City
whatever
manager.
City manager.
hired position.
Yeah, okay. Amended with the city manager only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. We have a new committee. Now item 4, Pullman Engineering Company team up grant payment. This is for the Crack and Seal.
Not TM.
TMF, I'm sorry, TMF, yep.
That's service line identification.
And this is just, I don't know enough about this bill, actually.
Monthly bill.
It's just our monthly.
Make a motion, we approve the Coleman Engineering TMF grant payment for $10,227.50.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Prunick, seconded by, or supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve payment to Coleman Engineering for the TMF grant payment in the amount of $10,227.50. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, item 5, Crane Engineering pay request for $30,293.75 and a budget adjustment. And I'll let Ron explain this
Take it
one.
over.
Try to explain it away, right?
It's very understandable, actually.
So it was just, that invoice, through all the emails that I get back and forth with them, I just flat out missed this invoice. So we were so far under budget on the project that we used that extra money to do the insulating of the building and the purchase the other drive that failed on us unexpectedly. So that's why the budget adjustment is needed.
And this was a component of,
That process pump project.
they didn't know that, they thought it was part of it.
Yeah, so we were actually like $4,000 under budget on that original project.
Mhm.
We ended up spending that money, and that's why the budget adjustment.
So we'll need the budget adjusted. Anybody have any questions? You entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion, we pay Crane Engineering $30,293.75 for,
And approve the budget.
right, and approve, right.
Did you do it? Ask for it?
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, that's okay, I didn't bring the sheet up yet, it's my fault.
It's been moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the Crane Engineering pay request in the amount of $30,293.75 and also approve the budget amendment. Any more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Item F, public comment.
I make a motion, we adjourn the,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I thought you were leaving.
I wasn't gonna tell everybody that I left you 4 messages last week, but now I am.
Me?
Yes. I even text you. Don't you love me anymore, Bob?
Am I what?
Don't you love me anymore?
I haven't gotten any of those.
Okay, I'm calling your home now. I am. That's my new
Fine,
phone.
yeah, did you do it through the city or?
No, your cell phone.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know where that is.
I feel so much better now.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you my email address.
Perfect. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Champagne, class of 1990 with this handsome fellow over here. I also would like to inform you that I am the proud owner of the Munising Beacon. I purchased it and today was our inaugural issue. We've gone to a full broadsheet. I wanted to let you know we have about a dozen columnists locally. I have about 5 writers. Some of them are remote. I have a film background and I'm very good in tech. Ryan will back me up on that. And my remote team is really well connected with the tools that I put into place. We're communicating daily. Everybody's on the beat. Melissa Wintermini will continue to carry the city commission beat. We're going to be expanding out into all the townships. We're going to do a township roundup at the end of every month. My editor-in-chief will continue to be Mike Murray, who I got on board in October. He is the co-editor of Marquette Monthly. My senior editor is Christy Basolo, who is the co-editor of Marquette Monthly. I'm also proud to report that my co-publisher is Steve Stifler. He is the owner and publisher of Newbury News, which has won Best Newspaper in a Year 3 times in a row. My focus is to get news out, to be local, to support local. I think it's important to note that we are the proud media sponsor of all the fire departments in Alger County. Clearly, that's something I feel passionate about. Chief Malone and Chief Tiernan were in Polly Hayes, and a bunch of others saved my life many years ago, and they helped raise this rabble-rouser into the fine young man he is today. I hope you enjoy the issue. We need community support if we're gonna continue. We're lucky the Denkins didn't abandon us. They were paying out of pocket every week. My hope is that you will start communicating with us and letting us know what's going on. If you don't, we don't know what's going on, or I have to show up at your door to get communication. Additionally speaking, with that broadsheet, we have done a 2-week trial run and has successfully done a drop straight to Adam Rogarge, our postal master in Munising. Last week and this week, the papers drop on Thursday, and next week it will be on Wednesdays, which will be its permanent home. We upload the prints to our printer on Tuesday night. The digital will be released directly after, and then the very next day, everybody else gets the paper. Took me a couple hours to work that out, but it feels really good. So I love my community. I grew up here. You are all the fabric of my being, and I want to do good by everybody. And that includes all 6 schools in Alger County, all the townships. I think there's 8 of them, and I think that every voice matters. So please support your local paper. And Red here even tried to get his own subscription, which was pretty impressive. I'm not going to say anything more on that, but Red. And thank you all for your time and your support. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Yes, do.
All right.
Can we
Thank you,
ask
Jennifer.
questions?
Yeah, we can move on.
Did you buy the Munising Advisor as well?
I did not.
Okay, so that
I'm not
was,
interested in a shopper.
no, that's okay.
Yeah.
With posting guidelines and getting out to people, shoppers versus paper of record is just different, so.
Mhm.
We'd love to talk another time.
Oh, thank you. Melissa Wintermini is going to cover all of you, and I'll be here to step up and support on the bigger needs. But, and are we recording or getting videos online yet? I know Devin remoted in one day.
We're recording,
Are you able to get copies to Melissa, or is that still in the
work in
works?
progress.
Okay, thank you. I know you got a lot going on.
All right, now you can, make your motion.
I make a motion, we adjourn the regular meeting.
I'll support.
Okay. Actually, you're making a motion to go into closed session. Or not at-
Yeah, and go into
Okay.
closed.
Subject to
Support.
section 8.5. Don't we have to
Oh,
put that
where's
as
it
part of
at?
the
Oh,
motion?
there it is,
Yeah.
yep. So, all right, you're supporting? A motion was made by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to move into closed session under the Open Meetings Act, section 8(1)(f), to consider employment applications for the city manager position. All those in favor? Any
Actually,
opposed?
that's a roll call vote.
Oh, that's right, it is roll call.
Confirm someone asked confidentiality. That's a
Oh.
roll call.
We did? Say it again?
You have to double check that someone asked.
Oh, did they have it?
confidentiality,
All candidates have asked for confidentiality.
And then it's a roll call.
In writing.
Thank you. Go ahead, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wilkinson,
Aye.
Commissioner Bird,
Aye.
Commissioner Prunick, Mayor Barry.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we are in closed session. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we are in open session. So, we need a discussion on the, do we call it a per diem? Do we need to reapprove the 350?
I would recommend
I
that.
would think,
All right.
All of a stipend.
What's-
All of a stipend.
Stipend, that's right.
Is it a flat or an up to? We did flat last time. Each person got
Just
350.
Yeah,
So-
I,
keep that.
Yeah, go ahead. There,
I think flat, I mean, you know, I know that there's some out-of-state travel potentially, but, we're at least assisting.
so there's one aspect of that that I want to be very careful with, just because there is one candidate that has mixed locations. Last time, anything in the UP, we said no. And so, how to facilitate that with that candidate might be impacted by the wording that we use right now.
That's very true.
I would just use where the legal address is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay.
You're okay.
Okay,
All right.
so, recommend did we put in there that, the last time in our motion that, was just, out of the UP travel?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did include that in the motion
Okay.
last time, so that's the reason why I was just double checking about
Nope,
the
that was
needs of
good.
that one person.
So, all right. So does this go into all the same motion we're gonna, with who we're going to apply, who we're going to interview, along with the stipend? Or do you want
No, I
to-
think you do the stipend first.
Two separate motions,
Right,
okay. I'd entertain a motion then regarding the stipend.
I'll make the motion, our stipend for our candidates, outside of the UP, is $350 flat.
Alright. I'll
You
support.
support it?
Yep.
It's moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to offer our interviewees a stipend for those that their legal address is outside of the Upper Peninsula. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries, okay. So now, item H, or do I need to do any other housekeeping? Okay, item H, need a motion to direct the MML facilitator to contact the applicants that we will list.
You want to do that by number or name?
Number. What are those numbers again?
1, 6, 9, 10, 7 with an alternate of 8.
1, 6, 9,
10.
10,
Okay, now,
7.
7,
Seven.
alternate 8.
okay. I will make the motion to direct the MML facilitator to contact applicants number 1, number 6, number 7, number 9, and number 10 to determine the intention of accepting an invitation for an interview with candidate number 8 listed as an alternate.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. It's been moved by Commissioner Bird, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson, to direct the MML facilitator to contact applicants what's that?
I'm sorry, I was talking.
1, 6, 7, 9, and 10 with the alternate of number 8. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Item I, somebody adjourn this
I'll make a
meeting.
motion, we adjourn.
I'll support it.
Motion
We'll fight over that.
by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Prunick and Bird, to support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are